Today, the true twin flame ascension signs. 5 signs that'll indicate if you're on a legit, authentic twin flame journey. First, I'm going to list the signs, just going to fire them off, and then we're going to get into each sign individually during the course of this video. Sign number 1, the obsessive thinking, and just generally speaking, the dark night of the soul, right? Desperation, kind of a sense of meaninglessness, and obsessive thinking. You cannot make your mind stop going about this person. And if that was happening to you, you would know it. I wouldn't have to really explain it, but I will in a few moments. Number 2, repeating number patterns everywhere. And you might not be getting this sign yet. So if this sign isn't happening to you, don't sweat it. Just remember this video. And when it starts happening, you're going to go, okay, aha, right? So repeating number patterns everywhere. 1111, 444, 222, 144, just on and on every day, all up in your face all day long. Okay, number 3, this weird feeling, this knowing that your life is about to change in ways that you can't even explain. You just know your life is going to change, and you're like, how do I know that? What is this feeling? Right? Like that. We're going to talk about that. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, same kind of sensation, this knowing, but it has something to do with this person. Like, I know this is my twin flame, or I know that there's something up with this connection that we have, or I know that we're going to be together, or I know that I know this person, something like that. A knowing around this person. Okay, number 5, something that I refer to as the weird energy shit. We're going to talk about that. It's all metaphysical stuff. And again, the weird energy shit. Well, actually, any of these signs, they might not all be happening for you yet. So if they haven't, don't sweat it. Just remember this video and come back to it in a few months when they do start happening. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kurt. I am the world's leading twin flame coach. I've personally coached over 6,000 twin flame students to date through my paid coaching program. Guys, you're in the right place. You're looking at him. I'm the guy that cracked the code on twin flames. And I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to make anybody wrong. That's not what we're doing here. But I like to point that out in these videos because I want you to know that your suffering can end. Hallelujah! Somebody figured it out. So you're in the right place, my friends. I've got answers for you today, and I'm going to offer you some free resources also at the end of this video, so watch all the way to the end. Now, let's get into each one of these signs individually. Sign number 1 was the obsessive thinking and just generally feeling really terrible. And this is the thing about the twin flame journey that is frustrating for me to witness as a professional in this niche, which is to see the status of teachings that you're going to get off the internet about this journey, the types of things people are saying about it. Because most of the time what people are saying about it is that it's this beautiful connection and they feel like home and you just love each other so much and it's really super special. And you're going, well, now wait a minute, that's not what's happening. I feel horrible. I feel just, oh my God, like my whole world is falling apart and I cannot stop thinking about this person. Oh, I cannot turn off the obsessive thinking. It's like it's happening to you. You cannot stop thinking about this fucking person. And again, if somebody goes, hey man, you just need to stop thinking about this person. Because you know you're talking about it to everybody, right? And I've got a video about that. I'll link down below about what to do about talking to people about your twin flame, right? It's called Don't Talk About Your Twin Flame. I mean, there's some people that you can talk to about it, but I'll link that video down below. But you talk to somebody about it, you're talking to everybody about it, you're in such a desperate way, you're in so much pain, and you'll do anything to make the pain stop. You're talking to everybody about it, and they go, hey man, you just need to stop thinking about this person. And you're like, dude, okay, Captain Obvious, thank you. I can't. You literally cannot stop thinking about this person. It's insanity. Meanwhile, the fucking internet is telling you, oh, it's this beautiful connection. It's like soulmates, only better, right? And some of these people that say this kind of stuff, I know they're just trying to help. I get it. Okay, I'm not here to make anybody wrong. I'm not here to put anybody down. But guys, they're not helping you, okay? They're talking about soulmates. 90+%, I dare say almost 100% of the twin flame information that you find online is somebody who goes, oh, twin flames, I get it. It's just like soulmates. Now, they might not say that. They might think that it is different somehow. And then they start talking about it, and you watch them talking about it, and you're like, dude, that's soulmates. That was already called soulmates. And then you go, well, what's the difference between what you're describing and what people already for 100 years, 200 years, however long, were calling soulmates? What's the difference? And then the person, they're not going to have a good answer for you. I mean, maybe they're just going to go, oh, no, it's really different. Really, you got to believe me. It's different. Really, I swear. Okay, how is it different? Well, it's a really special connection, see? Oh, God. No, it's nothing like that, guys. And the fact that you're in so much agony and despair, and there's this deep sense of meaninglessness. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you cannot function at all. And the obsessive thinking, no, that's not like soulmates, bro. So that's a big problem. That's a big beef that I have with the so-called twin flame information on the internet. And I'm not sorry for being a little bit pushy about it in this video. Guys, it's turned into a frickin' free-for-all. The so-called twin flame community. It's a fad online. And it's just a bunch of grifters trying to make money off of it. And I don't have any problem with people trying to make some money. That's great. But you could at least get the message straight, right? It's people, they see a market and that's all it is. And they go, oh, I get it. Twin flames. It's a special connection. No. And it's almost like, I wish we would stop calling it twin flames because it sounds romantic and endearing and cutesy and all this kind of stuff, guys. And it's not. It's nothing like that at all. It is very painful. Now, the pain doesn't last. That's the good news. That's the good news. But yeah, no, it's not like that at all. It's horrible. And this is, by and large, one of the biggest indicators that you've really met your twin flame. Now, it's an ascension symptom. So let's talk about how this is actually an ascension symptom now that we kind of got all this twin flame business straightened out, the twin flame message. So what's happening to you? Well, guys, this is your soul. Your twin flame is your soul. You are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul, right? So this diagram I'm showing this is the higher self in heaven, right? The afterlife, which is really the before life. It's the energy part of the universe, right? It's where you came from and it's where you shall return. So it's your higher self. Yes, that's a real thing. I've made lots of videos about it. If you would care to watch a video where I go into more detail about what this is, because I always feel like once I start explaining this, I have to explain it all in greater detail, because it does bring up a lot of questions. Well, I made a video about it on my YouTube channel. I'll link it down below for you as well. It's called What Are Twin Flames? By the way, resources, I said I was going to mention some free resources. I've got a playlist which I will link down below for you as well. There's a playlist called The True Twin Flame Teachings. Guys, my approach here is science-based. This is real. This is real. And by the way, this diagram, lots of other spiritual teachers use this diagram to explain the phenomenon of reincarnation. The only difference between their diagram and my diagram is they don't have these two here, you see, at the bottom. But this diagram, you'll see this around, guys, okay? So this is your past life in the year 1770. This is another one that you had in the year 1880, and I'm just kind of picking random years, right? This is you and your twin flame, and this is a future reincarnation. Now, from the perspective of the higher self in the energy part of the universe, the mental universe, the field, right? Like in cosmology, quantum physics, they just call it the field. And they say, oh, it's information, it's pure information. And they even have a theory about this called information realism. And it's kind of like, you know, science, it's nice of you guys to join the party finally. You know, spiritual teachers have been talking about this thing for thousands of years, guys, in the same terms. Same terms. The higher self exists on a higher plane, which is beyond time. So time has no meaning on this higher plane of existence. And again, physics confirms that these higher planes exist. They're not going to agree that there's anything spiritual about it, although some scientists do, actually. That's the thing that they're not telling you on TV, right? The pop culture version of conventional science denies that consciousness is real or that there are such a thing as souls or ghosts or telepathy. But there's plenty of scientists out there, guys, that do know about this stuff. They're just not telling you that on television. And there's lots of peer-reviewed research to validate this stuff. So this has all been confirmed. Like I said, it's kind of like science is finally catching up with spiritualism. And spiritual teachers have been teaching this for a long time, guys. Long time. So the higher self actually is experiencing all of these individual incarnations all at once. Albert Einstein, one of his most famous quotes was, "Past and future are happening simultaneously." And I know that's hard for you to wrap your mind around, but the mind is linear, okay? The mind is not able to really grasp how there could be no such thing as time. And there is such a thing as time, but it depends on your relative perspective. That's where the word relativity comes from, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. Okay, so time is a function of relative perspective. Now, you and your twin flame are simply simultaneous incarnations of the same soul. That's all this is, guys. It wouldn't be any different than if you had, say, knowledge of who you used to be in your past life and a time machine. What if you had a time machine and you knew who you used to be? You get in a time machine, you go back, and you meet who you used to be, right? Same thing, guys. So science and spiritualism are fundamentally connected. Science is finally catching up with spiritualism, guys. The same concepts that spiritual masters have been teaching for millennia. Science is verifying these things. This is a real phenomenon. You and your twin flame are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul. And let's face it, everybody on the internet has a different idea about what to do about your twin flame, right? Everybody does. But the one thing everybody agrees on, and I mean frickin' everybody agrees on, when it comes to twin flames, is that you're the same soul. Everybody says it, and it's true. Interesting side note, everybody agrees about what twin flames are, but then they all tell you to do different things about it. How can this be? Well, I guess that explains how I got here. As the world's leading twin flame coach, I said, wait a minute, it's your soul. You got to do soul stuff. And everybody else, granted, wonderful people. I know they mean well. I know they're just trying to help. But guys, almost all of the twin flame coaching that you're getting online is not spiritual. It's some version of like weird new agey kind of psychology, right? So psychology or metaphysics, like healing and balancing your inner feminine and masculine and healing your inner childhood wounds and clearing your chakras. And I mean, these are good things to do, but they're not spiritual, guys. That's psychology or metaphysics. Spiritual is consciousness. That's it. That's why I have all of my twin flame coaching students start by reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So this is exactly the reason why you're experiencing all of the signs, and we're going to get to the rest of them, but all of the signs in this video, the true twin flame ascension signs, right? Especially the obsessive thinking. They even have a name for this, right? So the obsessive thinking, the desperation, the sense of meaninglessness, the senseless, the sleepless nights, you can't function. I lost a bunch of weight because I wasn't eating, and it's horrible. You're in so much pain. It's awful. Well, they have a name for this in ancient Zen spiritualism. They call it ego death, and this terminology has been in use for a long time, guys. Now, you may be calling it the dark night of the soul. That seems to be a more popular terminology, but it's the exact same thing, right? Dark night of the soul, ego death, same thing. So remember, you are body, mind, soul. So the soul is consciousness. You met your soul in another body. So your higher self is managing this whole thing. All it wants is your ascension, right? So when you meet your exact same soul vibration in another body, boom! It triggers what's called ego death, which is the breakdown of your ego personality. Remember, you are body, mind, soul. So the mind, ego, is a collection of retained thought and emotional patterns that you've been accumulating since you were a child, right? I'm a mom, I'm a brother, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, I'm a truck driver, I'm a cook, I'm a tattoo artist, I'm a banker, I'm an accountant, I'm a delivery driver, whatever, right? I'm Republican, Democrat, I'm Tory, liberal, whatever. I'm neither of those. I don't do politics. I do politics. I'm college educated. I didn't go to college. Whatever, right? Your story, your history, right? It's an identity. It's a collection of retained thought and emotional patterns, the personality. That's where everybody on earth derives their sense of self from. And that's what you've been doing, just like everybody else. And it's like monkey see, monkey do, right? Like you don't even realize you're doing it. You just believe you are that ego mind. Well, I've got news for you. You are not that. You are body, mind, soul in the 3D, right? The mortal person is a 3-part triune being, but who you really are is at your core, which is the soul, which is consciousness. And the consciousness, when you met your twin flame, it triggers the eruption of that consciousness. And it's breaking down, breaking apart your ego mind, personality. That's why they call it ego death. There's an old saying in the Zen traditions that you have to die before you die. But the you who is dying is just the little me, the ego mind. It's not the real you. It's the false sense of self. That's why the obsessive thinking is going on. Because guys, when things die, It fucking hurts, okay? So that's all this is, guys. This is the first step of your spiritual awakening so that the real you can emerge. Right, the soul, the self. Okay, now we've kind of set the stage for us to be getting into the rest of these signs. So let's blast right through them. The number synchronicities. You may be seeing the numbers 1111 around, 444, 222, 333, 144. I was getting that one a lot. And I still get these numbers, by the way. You'll get used to it. And if you haven't started seeing the numbers yet, not to worry. No problem. Just keep going. You will. You will. You'll start to get all of these signs eventually. Trust me on that. So the best way to kind of, you could actually, so a lot of these signs that we're about to get into, you could actually start to make them happen. You can kind of push things forward a little bit more quickly. So how to do that is detaching from your twin flame. And to kind of kickstart the process of detaching, just kind of give it a rest for a while. Like you might want to just for a while, just kind of stop talking to them. I know that sounds hard, but just back away energetically, right? Just try it for like 3 weeks. That's all you got to do, 3-4 weeks. Stop talking to them, stop talking about them, stop looking at twin flame information. You might go watch my free twin flame coaching videos. Okay. Again, I'm going to put a link to the playlist down below. It's like my greatest hits for twin flames. It's the True Twin Flame Teachings playlist on this YouTube channel, free twin flame coaching. Go check it out, guys. Especially make sure that you watch the video called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. So separation, union, unity, detaching. So I explain where those words came from, why we're using them. So it turns out that the twin flame journey is really just the true spiritual journey. This is just your spiritual awakening, and you just need to treat it that way. That's all you have to do. And the running and chasing with your twin flame will stop. But it's kind of like you got to go first. You've got to make the first move. You do. You watching. Your twin flame's not going to do that, okay? They just don't. They just don't. They're not going to awaken. There's the myths video, twin flame myths video in that playlist, the True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. Watch that video. There's a lot of mythology on the internet. Again, well-meaning people, well-intentioned. I know they're just trying to help, but all they're doing is making your obsessive thinking worse and keeping you going through the same cycles. I want you to shut those cycles down. So go watch those videos and let go of some of the twin flame mythology. Just detox from your twin flame for a while. Just 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Stop looking at twin flame information. Stop watching card readings. Stop talking to them. Stop talking about them, right? And start meditating. Meditate a lot. And after a few weeks, first thing that's going to happen, you're going to start to feel better. Second thing that's going to happen, you're going to start to see number synchronicities fucking everywhere. 1111, 222, 444, 333, all over the fucking place. It's like the numbers are chasing you everywhere. Ha! Why? Because you're ascending, guys. You're causing the numbers. Your consciousness is exploding. Remember, the soul is consciousness. And the fact that the soul is consciousness, it's not thoughts, it's not emotions, it's consciousness. The fact that the soul is consciousness is not debated, guys. Not by legitimate spiritual masters. I mean, maybe some random, again, well-meaning, but just kind of run-of-the-mill online spiritual guru on YouTube. They're going to try to argue that point, but nobody else is arguing that point. It's like trying to argue that 2 + 2 = 4, guys. Eckhart Tolle, Buddha, Jesus, Hare Krishna, Krishnamurti, Paramahansa Yogananda, right? Any of these, the real spiritual masters, the big names, the big dogs, what are they going to tell you? The soul is consciousness. It's not debated, guys. It's not debated. Maybe online, but then again, there's a lot of people online that think the earth is flat. I'm just saying. And again, I'm not here to make anybody wrong. I'm not trying to be mean, but guys, it's not helping you. And we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to start to feel better. We're not going to shut down the running and chasing if we're not honest. We need to be honest about what is and isn't true. Spiritualism, what that is not debated, guys. It's not debated. So detox from your twin flame, get out of their energy for a few weeks, and meditate. Read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Read that book. Start today. Here's another thing that you could do. Here's another free resource that I'd like to give you. There's a movie on YouTube that you can start watching for free. It's called Samadhi. S-A-M-A-D-H-I. Samadhi. There's 3 parts. Make sure that you watch part 1 first. Don't skip around, or else it won't make sense to you. Part 1, Samadhi, it's free. It's on YouTube. Check it out, guys. It's called Samadhi, Maya, the Illusion of Self. Watch that movie tonight and start reading The Power of Now and detox from your twin flame for a while. You're going to get blown up with number synchronicities and signs like a son of a gun. You won't even believe it, guys. And you're going to feel better. Now, here's some other things that are going to start happening for you. Number 3, you're going to start feeling like your life is about to change in ways that you can't explain, and you don't understand why. It's a knowing, right? It's not coming from the mind. The mind understands. It's kind of like deja vu, right? Same thing. So you have this weird, eerie knowing that you've done this before, right? And it usually goes something like this. Whoa, I feel like I've been here before. I know I've done this before, but how do I know that? Have I done this before? Right. So there's 2 things going on in that scenario because they are coming from 2 places. There's the knowing, which is coming from the soul. And then there's the thinking and questioning, which is coming from the mind. Remember, you are not your mind. Everybody just thinks they are their mind. The mind is questioning, not you. You are the knowing. That's the real you, the soul. It's that weird, eerie knowing. They call it intuition. And you feel like your life is about to change in ways that the mind cannot explain. So the mind is questioning, yeah, what is it? I don't know. How do I know this, right? It starts saying stuff like that, but you think that it's you who's asking those questions and making those statements. And I've got some good news for you. Your life is about to change in ways that the mind cannot explain. And guys, all I gotta say is embrace traditional Zen spiritualism, not the fakey New Age pop culture spiritualism on the internet. Guys, again, I can't stress this enough. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to make anybody wrong. I know everybody's just trying to help, but you need to find out what spiritualism really is. And it's not healing. It's not clearing karma. It's not clearing your chakras. Those things are fine things to do. But they don't even work unless you have genuine spiritualism at your core first. The true spiritual journey is being. Stillness. It is a remembrance of who you really are. Let's move on. Number 4. This ties in perfectly with sign number 3, this knowing. You have some kind of a knowing around this person that you call twin flame, your other self. They are your other self, right? Another incarnation of your soul. And you might know that there's something really different about it this time, really different with this particular person. You've had other breakups before. You've had other relationships before. This time it's different. There is something up with us. What the fuck is it, right? Or you have this knowing that they are your twin flame, or you have this knowing that you're going to be together. Right, of course you do. Guys, remember, you are them. You are them. There's only one of you. You are them. Guys, here's the thing. There's no you and they. That's not a thing, right? Me and they. That's not a thing, guys. There's no them. All there is you. There's only one of you. You are your twin flame. You are them. You literally are them. The question is, what is you? Because again, up to this point in your life, you have derived your sense of self from the ego mind, just like everybody else. So again, this is a remembrance of who you really are. You are not the mind. You are consciousness. That's what you really are. And it's not out there. It's in here, guys. Sign number 5, something I refer lovingly to as the weird energy shit. So again, I've given you instructions on how you can kind of speed things up. There's also my paid coaching. It's not expensive, guys. It's not thousands of dollars. Everybody else charges thousands of fucking dollars. I do not do that. And I also have payment plans, and it's actually twin flame coaching. I'm just saying. There's payment plans. You can start for very little, guys. I'll take the total package price and break it up into 6 little payments. You get instant access to the video program, over 26 hours of videos. If you get the gold package, you got 2 months to talk to me, directly to me. There's the secret Facebook community, or just watch the free stuff, guys. I've given you a lot of resources to speed things up. Please do something, guys. Now, at some point, you're going to start to experience some strange metaphysical sensations. So, Kundalini rising. Perfect example. And there's 2 primary types of Kundalini rising. The one that people usually think of is kind of an all-at-once kind of thing, where you feel this energy that starts at your tailbone and moves up the base of your spine to your crown. And it's all at once. And it's like, whoosh, ah, right? And it feels good. It does not feel bad, but it's weird. It feels weird. And it's this really intense energy that's like coursing through your body. Now, my Kundalini activation was slow and took place over several weeks, but I felt like energy like pulling at me and surging through my body. It just wasn't as intense. It was not an all-at-once, very intense kind of Kundalini rising. You might be seeing flashes of light in your third eye. You might be feeling numb for a time, kind of a weird numbness. Not bad, but just like disconnected from this world. Right, these are metaphysical energy symptoms. The reason they are happening is because your metaphysical, mental, astral body component is waking up. It's just like when your foot falls asleep and you get up and you start walking around. It's just like that, except it doesn't hurt. It feels cool. You might feel intense love in your heart too, by the way. Extremely intense love in your heart, okay? So that's what I call the weird energy shit. It's just metaphysical. It's just your astral body coming online. Totally fine, totally safe. Those are the 5 twin flame ascension signs, everybody. I hope you found this video informative, useful, and inspiring. No, you're not crazy. You met your other self. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great week.